critical. You can go 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, so those might not be the immediate priorities. But in the desert, we might want to try and acquire water before we acquire fire. So that said, there's about 18 different ways across the globe to make fire primitively or traditionally. I'm only going to show you one way that I know will work, that I'm pretty proficient at, and then 2 other ways that one I probably won't get anything, and the second one I might. So, and I was taught this this knowledge through the tracker school. It's Tom Brown. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tom Brown. It's actually back east in New Jersey in the Pine Barrens.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was taught by Stalking Wolf and grandfather, Lippin Apache, which is close to this region where his people originated. So I hope to show you guys this in the best honorable way that I can. And feel free to ask any questions. So the first thing we do when we consider a fire is location. We want to make sure we aren't out in the wind. We want to make sure the environment, is preferable for trying to make fire. If it's windy, then you probably want to wait and be responsible for making your fire. We don't want to cause forest fires. Typically, we would dig a hole. It would be about 2 feet in diameter, 6 inches deep. It would be sunken in. And we would line that with rocks. And then we would build a teepee structure of small pencil-thick sticks. Some maybe a little thinner and some a little bit bigger. And we'd stack them on top of each other and leave an opening. And that opening is for us to put our tinder bundle into once we have it on fire.
So it would be like a square with a square, make a square?
No, not the
square.
teepee.
The square
in
is
a teepee.
Yeah, teepee style. So so that's kind of all the preparation. So then you would get your smaller pencil thick or thinner sticks and start, stacking them up in a teepee style, and then you would continually get thicker into your finger size, and then maybe an inch in diameter, and get it built. And then you want to leave an opening on one side. So there's some preparations to consider before you even get to this step of trying to make fire. Some other things to consider: making sure you have water, things to put out your fire, or escape routes. A lot of times you don't need a huge fire to stay warm. It could be something very small, and you could sit close to it, and you want to have the wood already gathered that you're going to feed that fire. You don't want to have to leave your fire and go get wood, because then you're not being responsible for it. So this first style is the bow drill style, and it requires 5 tools in essence. And this is the bow and some cordage. You need, I should go over some wood first. I like to use aspen, cottonwood, and yucca. Those are the different materials I like to use. So this is some aspen.
I thought you meant it was gone. It was like, no, it's still in there.
So this is just a fireboard or a fire hearth. So you have a spindle now. That's your other tool. So that's 4. And your last tool is going to be something that you can hold in your hand to put the other end of the spindle in, so you don't burn your hand. You can use something like oak or maple, a harder wood, or bone. You can use stone, sandstone. You can even use clay if you can fire harden it, but you gotta get it fired first. So those are the first, or this is going to be for the bow drill. Now, that edge is technology. So, you can use obsidian to craft your tools out of raw material, and for sake of time, a knife comes in handy. And then this is just juniper bark. You can use aspen bark or cottonwood bark. The bark you're looking for is just bark that's peeling right off the trunk of the tree. Something that will shred fairly easily. I want to just kind of make a little bird's nest out of it. Then I like to use a little bit of cattail duff. That has a lot of surface area, so it will ignite better than that cedar or the juniper bark. This is just a piece of rawhide. You can use bark, leaves, whatever, and that's going to be to catch my ember. So, or coal, or yeah. I have a sister named Amber. She lives in Utah. So the position of this is, if you're good at yoga, then you have no problem. A little bit of a balanced position. You want your cord to be, just tight enough so that when you put that spindle around the cord, it snaps into place. You guys seen this before? I'm sure you have on like Dual Survivor or
Survivor Man.
Survivor Man with Les Strauss or Bear Grylls.
What's your name?
My name is Rourke McDermott. I don't have a television
You don't have
show.
a show yet?
You will on YouTube.
Oh, good.
If it's okay that we do that.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. Totally fine.
Got
So
some
who would you rather be in
teen.
the woods with, Les Stroud or Bear Grylls?
Les Strauss.
Yeah, okay, good. All right. If you said Bear Grylls, we'd have to leave.
Bear Grylls does little unnecessary things.
Yes,
too.
he does.
He eats a lot of things.
Oh, the smoke's already coming up.
Oh, I can smell it.
Look at that already, Joe.
That's amazing.
Can you see around here, Joe? You can see it.
So once I've got my socket burned out, I need to cut a notch. That's where the ember will drop out of. You're looking for 1/8. If you divide the circle of the socket into a pie, it'd be 1/8 of a pie. Is what you're looking for to cut into that socket. So you'll notice my knees are at 90 degrees for this position. This part of your wrist fits in really nicely, locks into the shin. See, on those television shows, they make it happen real quick. You're like, what?
That's good editing.
What kind of wood is the bow made of?
You know, you want something that's not brittle, that has a little flex to it. That is actually cherry wood off a cherry tree.
Oh, okay.
Apple's fine. Sometimes you can use certain times elm and ash. You never want to make your tools with evergreens. Pines, firs, and spruces. There's a resin that's inside those materials, and it'll create a polished end, and you won't get enough friction to get the dust you need for an ignition in your ember or coal. So, no evergreens. But in our neck of the woods, yucca, cottonwood, aspen, willow, those are all good ones to use. Sagebrush is good. Alright. Let's see, we'll carve this off again.
Now, are you doing this all not making the... You made the groove and all that. Are you doing that now just to show us? Can you, once you've made them, can you use them again?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have enough depth, like this one I could probably use again. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys how to burn a socket.
Sure.
And here, you guys can pass this around so you can get a better look at.
But if it gets too deep, then the worry is you'll just go right through it then? Or?
Yeah, and I won't have enough time to get enough RPMs to build up enough heat and enough dust to... So that's a good question. There's some basic dimensions, you know, that come into making these tools. So a spindle is basically thumb to pinky is a good dimension to consider. Your bow is tip to shoulder is a good dimension to consider. For your fireboard, it can be the length of your forearm, finger width, thick. So
What
those
about the depth of that? How deep did you go into the wood?
Just enough so that my socket will be on the edge of it.
Okay.
If I don't go deep enough and burn the same diameter of my spindle, then there's a chance that it could jump out.
Okay.
So you just want to go deep enough until you start to see charcoal fire hardened area the same diameter of your spindle. Some spindles are softer than others, so the depth will vary based on that. You might have to go deeper with a harder spindle, which means you'll need a thicker fireboard. And that just comes to knowing your plant material, your woods, and knowing how they respond to pressure. So so this is aspen, this is yucca. I'll burn through this quicker than I would aspen or cottonwood.
That's the flower stalk of the yucca?
The flowering stalk of the yucca. If I have an aspen spindle on aspen or cottonwood, that spindle's going to last longer. So it just depends on my survival objectives, my living objectives.
That smells good.
Do you guys see marshmallows? Yeah.
Didn't get deep enough there. Try again. Sometimes there's little modifications. Sometimes the spindle is starting to put friction on the rim. So I want to thin it down further up. Because I want friction to be down in the middle of the socket. So you want less friction on top. Alright guys, we're striking out.
You were close on that one.
Let's try this one here. Already got it burned out.
Well,
So it's
Take you
really
all day.
easy, right?
What else?
It's the reason somebody invented matches.
Yeah. It's like, I guess if you have all day, you can figure this out.
That's the reason they never let their fires go out.
Yep. But you got it going. We might try something else here, gang. All right. Oh, we'll try one more time with a different spindle.
I just realized something, Jen. You've got your oxygen in here and he's making sparks.
Oh. You know, hey, I don't want to cause anybody any damage.
There is a reason for this. I'll videotape it for you. Why don't you go upstairs?
I have to even have a sign in my house.
It's just
that-
over by the range.
It's by the range. Okay.
Yeah. There should be 5 of them, and then the darts are over there too in a box.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Maybe the fates were protecting us.
Maybe. That's a good call.
Thanks for remembering that.
All of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, we have to have a sign up in our house.
That's a good call. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, if it starts right away, we'll know the fates were with us.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Could you use, if you went around in a riparian area with a cattail, do you think like milkweed fluff would work just as well?
Oh, yeah. Cottonwood.
Cotton, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
seeds.
question.
Winter fat?
Yes.
Is it good, like, to have all of your tools aspen, except, like, the bark and the bone or stone?
You can have your tools be whatever you need them to be, as long as it works. You can have cottonwood on cottonwood. You can have any arrangement of those 4 plants: yucca, willow, cottonwood, and aspen. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. We're going to the next step here.
We'll edit this out.
Oh, I hope so.
Bear Grylls would just have one of his workers come over with a lighter.
I made fire!
Yeah.
Probably.
How's it going, Rourke?
Oh man, these guys aren't doing good for me.
Yeah?
Yeah. They're all like sending out bad energy.
Say, do we need to chant
Seems like the wind's just coming right in that door too.
Yeah.
There's like no way I could do it outside.
So now we know why it was such a big idea for Tom Hanks when he built fire on the island.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rob, you want to give it a shot?
I can if you want.
You got your stuff?
Our white
Are you
tribes
I
had
have some
fire
of the truck.
keepers.
You want to use this junk here?
I'll take a look at what you got.
Give me a break. Got a knife out.
Definitely Bojo material. We got that way.
So we got, this is aspen, this is cedar.
Okay.
That's yucca. This is aspen board. This is, I don't know, this is the, well, I like, but there's some other ones there. Bunch of handholds here.
Cool.
This one is
Let me,
fossil.
I think I've got my kit in my truck. Let me check that real quick. Give me like 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Get some food. Mine's hungry.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
So who are the lucky winners of the photo adventure?
Well, I don't know their names exactly, but they're out and about. There's 12 of them.
The lucky winners.
Yeah, they have like a lottery where you have almost total access to the whole. I keep wanting to call it the Baca Ranch. You can tell I lived here for a long time. Total access to the preserve, and they can actually stay on the preserve at night. And
Well, you got enough money to see it through with all the time. You want to see it, don't you? Leave now when you kind of.
You don't want to leave yet. Rob's good. Rob's master.
now you're going to be glad when you can go home and flick a switch and turn on your stove, huh?
The guy that introduced me to all this, that's Rob. He's been doing this stuff for 10 years.
So would you say if there's a school in southern Utah? Is that the one that barefoot fella does?
It's called BOSS.
Oh.
Boulder Outdoor Survival School.
Oh, okay.
Cody London, I don't know what he does.
I thought that's where he was. I could be wrong. I thought he was in
Cody
southern Utah.
Lund, so I don't know.
I wonder what this is.
What's that, buddy?
This is like pure blackness and maybe cobblestone.
It looks like an old piece of rubber. You know?
Cool.
Yeah, it's just kind of got hard in the sun.
I'm gonna pretend it's obsidian.
Okay.
What materials you got?
It's all aspen. Slacking.
He's got a bigger knuckle bone, or is that a? Is that bigger?
This is the one that Rob gave me.
Okay, I just would. I didn't mean it the way it came out. I just meant that was it from a different type of animal?
No, it's the same animal. It's an elk bone.
So he keeps the biggest ones for himself.
No, I got this one later.
I'm joking. I was telling him
First
about-
rule of survival:
about how
keep
you-
the biggest one for yourself.
You gotta survive to help other people.
So now,
So Rob's the
flight
guy
attendant.
that introduced all this stuff to me, so he's the master.
Whatever. He lived on a reservation. I didn't.
If he can't do it,
There's 4 other people outside that can.
I don't know who can.
No, I mean literally there's 4 other people outside that can.
What's your preferred wood?
Oh, there's like trinkets out
For
there.
this neighborhood, I like aspen, the cottonwood, but cedars they go to with the most places.
You need a knife?
That's my job.
both of them in here.
So what I gotta do first is to burn it in. Did you talk about technique and all that, or?
Yeah, but you can go over it again. I have a feeling they weren't listening to me.
So my goal here to begin with is to burn this in enough so that it'll sit in there and it won't come out, so you get the full ring around the spindle.
Okay. If you wanted that.
Yes, that would be awesome. Then I'm going to cheat and use a bit of modern appliance here to cut my notch.
You're right, he does keep all the big tools.
Okay, but you want to see this though? We'll do that next.
I'm gonna have one of those over on my stuff. I didn't bring it in.
Definitely makes notch cutting faster.
Is that a silky?
See again?
Is that a silky?
Corona?
Oh.
What would one traditionally use?
A rock. So you would take the corner of a rock, and you would just hold the wood down and just run it down the side and cut a perfect wedge. But it takes a little while. When you're doing demonstrations, you don't always have a lot of time.
I've already taken enough of your time. Look, there's only 2 people here from the original groove.
Well, we sent with the one that had oxygen out.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right.
We're
It's
getting
the
there.
patient ones that get.
So we have a
Yes, we're the ones that will survive.
So form-wise, you want the center of your foot really close to it. You're not going to burn your foot. You want to put your shoulder on your leg and just relax your body.